I'm Gary Isaacs with the Ike Picket Show. Today I have a reminder of what could happen to you if your integrity and your savings are not in your own custody. This is a song I recorded in Branson, Missouri under the show name Ike Picket called The Takers. I was reading a book of cowboy poetry and ran across this poem by Norskog that interested me, so I called Howard and I told him I wanted to put his poem to music. He consented, and so I produced this version of his poem that is now on my album, The Original Ike Picket, on many music platforms on the internet. I later did a show with Howard. In view of what a socialist government has the power to do to you, as illustrated by Trudeau in Canada against protesting truckers, let's listen again and appreciate the Constitution of the United States and the private custody provision of Bitcoin.
The government took all of his horses. The bank hauled his cattle away. It seems that the hay he had stacked against winter caught fire and burned several days. They told him the land was going to forfeit to pay some back taxes come due. And the chickens they'd planned on for groceries were molting, and he had the flu. The old pickup was now out of gas that would help to get him the job he would need. And the order said vacate the premises now if you can't pay up with all speed. We're coming to take everything that you have. Your credit's no good, so we've found. And the only thing that you have left now of value, strange as it seems, is the ground. But he had a Winchester, had 20-odd shells, and he sat in the porch by the door. For he had decided that, odd as it seemed, they weren't gonna take any more. So he wrote them a note over there by the door, up high on the side of the jam. It said, you are coming to get me, but frankly, it don't give a damn. 'Cause my great-grandfather settled this place, his grave's on top of the hill. My grandma and grandpa are sharing a spot on that knoll where the breezes blow still. My mother and father lay there beside them, where some dogs and some kittens reside. And the history that strings out behind us all rest on that hill side by side. You tell me you're bringing the National Guard, and the sheriff's office sent every man. Why, you even conscribe some civilians. Well, you must have a hell of a plan. Doing this cowboy who waits on the porch and whiles his last hours away. I never dreamed I could be so important, just as I leave you today. Now the soldiers in battle dress came to the trees, and the other men came by the wall. He watched as they came, then he raised his Winchester, but he never fired at all. The rifle spit fire and he fell to the ground, and everyone bragged how they'd done. It seemed like a game they were playing. Some even seemed to have fun. And as they all walked by the body there laying, the note by the door could be seen. The one on the side of the door jamb, and it caused one or two to turn green. Said my great-grandfather settled this place, his grave's on top of the hill. My grandma and grandpa are were sharing the spot on that knoll where the breezes blow still. My mother and father lay there beside them, where some dogs and some kittens reside, and the history that strings out behind us all rest on that hill side by side. So bury me up with the others, with my family and the ones who have cared. I've willed all this place to the takers, I've given this land we've shared. Tell everyone how you came with your people to kill one old cowboy alone, how you heroically shot him down laughing, and now he's at last traveled home.
I'm Gary Isaacs with the Ike Picket Show. Thanks for listening to my song today. Remember that knowledge is power, and it also displaces fear. Get my album with this song on my website, myintegritypath.com. Read my book, Standing Up to the Coup, and you can listen to my book, Searching for Bitcoin, by audio. Keep in mind who you are and why you were here at this important time, and sleep peacefully at night, knowing that your integrity and your savings are not controlled by a public-private partnership, but are in your own private custody.
There's an old American system, it's called free enterprise. We have a tendency to forget when the do-gooders start to rise. When the dollar gets weak and prices are high and they give us their socialist salve. If the government can give you all you want, it can take everything you have.